Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Hey everybody, great to be back with you. David D'Arcangelo, another episode of Save As Ability. Keep those comments, likes, and shares coming, please. Help us build our channel so we can keep great content flowing for you. We've got a great episode today. We've got a guest here, and it is the Oscar-nominated director for Feeling Through, Doug Roland. And we'll get right into it. So, Doug, please tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what brings us here today to talk about DeafBlind and all of the stuff that you've helped produce for our deafblind community.
Hey, David, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on with you. I always love an opportunity to chat with you. Really long story short, Feeling Through, which is a film I made several years ago, was something that was inspired by a chance encounter with the first person who was deafblind that I'd ever met, which now happened about 13 years ago. And it really, as someone who is not disabled himself and grew up in an environment around really no one in my immediate environment who identified as being disabled, and not seeing anything about disability on my TV screen or around me, I really hadn't engaged with learning about disability until this encounter with this individual who was just a great person, who I found really, warm-hearted and funny and interesting. Also kind of opened my interest into really learning more about disability as a whole. And that kind of led me on this journey to make that film, collaborate with Helen Keller National Center, meet tons of different individuals from the deafblind community and the disability community as a whole along that journey, and really changed my life.
Well, the thing that I really value that you've done, Doug, is you've opened deafblindness up to a much broader community than it typically has been. I mean, last we knew, we were watching The Miracle Worker and, great stories like that. But it had been some time. And so to get nominated, get that exposure, and really, you're a film guy. You could have been doing other things. So I value that you use something from your own experience and stuck with it to be able to put it together.
I appreciate that. I think I've heard you say this and a number of other people, not only is there a need for a representation of a community like the deafblind community that virtually has zero mainstream representation, but it's also a place where there's a wealth of amazing people with amazing stories. So, I think a lot of what's really great about storytelling is being able, whenever you can, highlight a community that doesn't normally get the spotlight, and also just be able to, more than anything, showcase amazing people and amazing stories in that space. It's a privilege to be able to do that. So, for me, I just look at myself as someone who was really just fortunate to be able to have that encounter to open my understanding and awareness. And it feels like it feels like a gift to be able to have the opportunity to hopefully share that with other people.
Well, to expand on that a little bit, loyal viewers of this show know that we talk a lot about access to opportunities, and particularly through employment opportunities. Talk to us a little bit about the entertainment industry and how avenues for people with disabilities have opened up both in front of and behind the camera.
Well, I think there's tons of stats you can find out there. Every year they showcase statistics of the number of people with disabilities working in entertainment, or particularly that are cast in as actors in roles. Staggeringly low numbers, and they are still staggeringly low. But I think the optimistic side of it is there's a lot more conversation around how staggeringly low they are, which is really the important part. I think, David, you know this a lot better than me, but historically disability has been left out of the diversity inclusion conversation, or at least not nearly as highlighted as other aspects of diversity and inclusion. And now that's changing. So along with that is a lot more of a focus and emphasis on in this case, hiring people with disabilities in front of and behind the camera. So I think the narrative changing is going to start changing those numbers. It is going to take a little while, and it's still in process. But, to see the amount of initiatives that are starting up to support, more people with disabilities working in entertainment and other fields, I think is the first step in many, but the most important step to really start to change those numbers significantly. And I, as someone working in the entertainment industry, I just hear about it a lot more, which is encouraging too. It's something that not that long ago, I wouldn't have heard any places talking about initiatives to support, in any sort of mainstream way to support people with disabilities in entertainment. So that's a big positive shift.
Well, when it's all said and done, Doug, we'll look back in years and we'll find out that Feeling Through was the tip of the spear, really, because it was that movie. Then the next year, Coda actually won it. And now there's all these other movies coming out. So you're a little bit of a trailblazer there. So let's talk about your next vision here, that you could have just said, hey, I'm out of here with my Oscar nomination. I'm moving on to other projects. But no, you stuck with it and you're doing Feeling Through Studio. Tell our audience a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'd been describing before about that chance encounter that led to making Feeling Through. But it wasn't just like I had that encounter, I made this film and cool, let's move on. It was something where that encounter happened, it was actually a number of years till I made the film. And then the process of making the film and sharing the film was years in and of itself, because we didn't just kind of put it out in the traditional ways. We collaborated to create these screening events where we showed the film alongside a panel discussion with individuals from the deafblind community.
You created a community.
Yeah, and it did kind of organically turn into that. But it also organically revealed itself to be this really powerful learning tool for people who, like myself some years ago, who knew virtually nothing about the deafblind community or disability, all of a sudden had this short film that was a really powerful into just empathizing with someone from the community, building that empathetic connection that storytelling does, and then sparking interest in wanting to learn more. So when we started doing this event, not just for the general public, but in schools, and in conferences and in with organizations, we started to realize really consistently it was something that was really interesting people and inspiring them to want to learn more about disability. And that during that process, I was also continuing to, meet, connect, and collaborate with so many different individuals, not just in the deafblind community, but in the disability community, as a result of just, being in that space. And that was where the idea was born of okay, so now I know so many great people with disabilities who have so much amazing, valuable stuff to share because they're teaching me every day. How do I kind of give other people this experience who, like me, not that long ago, didn't know much about disability? How can I give them access to these amazing, interesting people that they'll learn so much from? And that's where the idea of Feeling Through Studio was born, which most simply put is, I use the reference masterclass a lot because people are familiar with it and it gives it a little bit of a shorthand. But really what that is it's basically like masterclass, except all the instructors are people with disabilities teaching the audience about disability. So, we utilize high quality video content with these disabled instructors, sharing their lived experience and wisdom about disability, and organize it across a large platform covering a lot of different topics to really make it a fun and interesting way to learn about disability directly from.
Well, that's the thing I like so much, is that you didn't focus in on just one area. Matter of disclosure, I am in on the employment module. Do you call them modules or webisodes, whatever? But it really covers all aspects of life. And I think that has great value. Yes, for the person with the disability, but also for the people in that person's with disability solar system, as well as just a larger, I think it's interesting for really anybody with or without a disability.
That was the whole intent. The intention was, how do we create something that is just on its own, just interesting and entertaining, and also something that happens to give a really in-depth, nuanced, and informative look on disability. So, it was something of I think that's an important thing to add to the space. I think anytime you have something that can really capture someone's interest who before that maybe wasn't interested at all, can be a really powerful thing when you're talking about when your goal is to have it be something that really educates the masses, educates large numbers of people. You want it to be something that has a universal, compelling interest to it. And the entry point to that is storytelling, is something that finding a way that can be really capture anyone's interest.
Yeah, I think it's very well done. People should check it out. Where are you sending them to? Your YouTube channel, your Feeling Through Studio channel?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if people want to learn more about that right now, if they go to feelingthroughstudio.com and just sign up or shoot us an email to the contact there. We're giving out more information, but we're really fortunate to be in a soft launch right now. Have some amazing universities and corporations utilizing it in this first early round, and going to get some great feedback from that.
And I know we spoke recently. Who is it? UCLA is picking it up as a film in their film school, and you've got some other collaborations going on too.
LA is which has a disability studies department. They're building a whole course around it next quarter, which will be really exciting to have it be something that's utilized. It's something that, again, I was talking about this video library, but in this first iteration of it, we were able to create 45 distinctive video chapters organized across 8 different larger categories, and have 4.5 hours of content on there. And it's something that we're going to grow and evolve over time, but it is something that is a widespread collaboration with two dozen individuals who are our initial group of instructors, including yours truly, David D'Arcangelo. And you were incredible on that, and really
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate it. But it's all a credit to you and your team. It's a tour de force, and I actually think it's the most significant media project of its kind ever done for the deafblind community. I would stand behind that. So anything else as we conclude here, Doug?
Well, David, I was talking about having the privilege to connect with so many amazing people in the disability community and learn so much. And you are certainly one of those people who I've now known for a number of years and learned a great deal from, and, have really enjoyed all of our conversations. So I just wanted to extend my thanks to you.
Likewise, Doug, thank you for your work. And I know there'll be future projects too. So, all right. Well, everybody, this is a great episode. Doug, we want to thank you for joining us. Please, everybody, if you can help us grow the channel, share, like, subscribe, comment. We take all of it. We'll be with you next week for another episode of Save Visibility. Until next time, I hope you have a great day. For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time, thank you. I hope you have a great day.